Hello and welcome to the News Minute. Karnataka goes to polls today. Uh, Brisk voting is being seen in different parts of Karnataka. Leaders from BJP, Congress, all of them have visited the polling station and cast their votes. And Joining me is our reporters Shivani Kawa, who is reporting from Udupi. Prajwal is also reporting from Udupi, and Pooja from Bengaluru. Pooja, I want to come to you first. Uh, you know, what is the sense that is prevailing on ground among the voters? What is the mood there? Uh,
I'm currently in Baswantpuri constituency in South Bengaluru, and this has been a BJP bastion for almost 20-25 years. And since morning, we have seen great voter turnout. Usually, this part of the city does see a large turnout in the first couple of hours of the morning, and then it starts to wane. The polling booth that I'm currently joining from just a few minutes ago, we saw Dunya Vijay, who's a Kannada actor, come here and cast his vote. He was also appealing to all the people here to come out in large numbers and cast their vote. Bengaluru, as you are well aware, has been infamous for a long time for very low voter turnout. Keeping that in mind, this time around, they have ensured that voting is on Wednesday, so that people don't use this as an excuse to leave town and end up not voting actually. So yes, we are hoping for the voting rate to pick up through the rest of the day. We've seen many prominent Bengaluru citizens come out and vote, and this includes Infosys founder Narayan Murthy as well. And we've also seen several actors, including Prakash Raj, come out and vote, and all of them are urging the people of Bengaluru particularly to turn out in large numbers. Shabi.
Yeah, till 9 a.m. it was 8.26 percentage of voter turnout, and Udupi has seen 13% of voter turnout. Prajwal, you are reporting from Udupi. What is the situation there, and why is there a large turnout in Udupi?
Ellarigu namaskara. We are in Udupi and we are outside the MGM a voting booth here, and I've been speaking to all the people who've been coming to, vote in elections, and a lot of them said that they came in early in the morning to beat the afternoon heat, basically. But we're seeing that the number of pollsters here in Udupi's polling stations are gradually increasing. We saw that actor Rakshit Shetty was spotted at a polling station in Udupi in the morning, and reporters in Udupi, we're keeping an eye out for prominent personalities as well as BJP and Congress leaders to come out and poll in the elections. It's been steady going so far. We're keeping an eye on the voter turnout, but in the polling station that I'm in, it seems to be that the voting turnout is picking up only now. And I'm getting to know from Shivani that there are a lot of female voters in her polling station, but doesn't seem to be the case here in MGM. But the voter turnout is slowly increasing.
Okay, let me also go to Shivani. She's also reporting from Udupi. Uh, Shivani, take us through what's happening in your polling booth where you are. What is that? You have been interacting with a couple of voters too, and what are they saying when they reach the polling station? What is there on top of their mind just before casting their vote?
Well, I'm at the Kapu constituency in Udupi district, where there is a strong fight between the senior Congress leader Vinay Kumar Sorake and the businessman turned politician Gurme Suresh Shetty. So, speaking, looks like they just want to get over with the polling and move on with their days ahead. And I'm seeing a lot of senior appearing now to cast their vote, and a total number of voters as of now has been 402, and the maximum number of voter turnout here has been female, which is 203 so far.
Okay, we seem to have lost Shivani there. Pooja, let me come to you. Pooja, in the run up to the campaign, we have seen several allegations and counter allegations from both political parties, Congress, BJP. What are the key issues that really matter in this election for the people of Karnataka?
Shabir, I'm sure you agree with me that BJP in many elections, not just in Karnataka, has made corruption a huge platform on which they've contested. They've often accused the Congress party of being corrupt. But there is a twist to this in Karnataka because the Bommai government, which has been in power for almost 3 years now, has faced a string of allegations of corruption over the last few years, starting from Contractors Association to Private School Association. Even some Hindu mutts have alleged that they've had to pay exorbitant bribes to various departments of the government. So this will be a very, very big, election issue. Apart from this, also given the fact that the BJP has experimented and brought in several Hindutva projects, made them policies in Karnataka, will also play on the minds of the voter. But there is also a very, very big factor, the Modi factor. The last 2 days of campaigning, Saturday and Sunday, Prime Minister Modi was in Karnataka, particularly in Bengaluru. He held 2 road shows, a total of 36 kilometers. He traveled across the city. So that is also another key factor, because we've seen the BJP again and again say that this vote is for Prime Minister Modi, not so much with the local leaders. So yes, while there are questions on one side about the question of federalism, whether people should be looking at the Prime Minister when they cast a vote, or should they be looking at the local candidates. The fact remains that he is a very important figure this time around. And the Congress also has tried to leverage this and said that because they don't have any big faces, any credible faces in Karnataka, the BJP has had to use Prime Minister Modi. But that said, if I were to summarize corruption, Hindutva, caste, of course, we cannot forget, and the fourth factor is Prime Minister Modi, I'd say.
And Prajwal, coastal Karnataka is a different region. The politics of coastal Karnataka is different. We have been discussing about it in our videos too. Do you think issues that were raised by the BJP in the last minute, particularly with regards to the Bajrang Dal, whatever the Congress had promised in their manifesto, do you think this will all create an impact? This will have an impact in that region?
Well, I'm right now standing outside MGM College. This is the site of the biggest anti-hijab protest which took place in 2022. A few steps away from me was where the agitation had taken place outside the college gates. Uh, I spoke to some voters about this as they were walking in. I saw that there was a lot of uncertainty among the voters that I spoke to, considering the fact that we experienced this kind of hateful rhetoric just a few steps away from us. And also, there's been a lot of discussions about the fact that the Congress hinted at the possibility of a Bajrang Dal ban, and the BJP has decided to take it up as an important election issue. And a lot of people that I'm familiar with in Udupi were posting on social media, had WhatsApp statuses which said, "I am Hanuman, I come from the land of Hanuman." So clearly, the BJP wanted to make an emotive issue out of the fact that the Congress hinted at a ban on the Bajrang Dal. But to be frank, I'm not sure how well it has worked, because I think even though the Congress in Udupi was quite worried about it, I'm told that the Congress is sensing that these are voters who would anyway not vote for the Congress. So it's not going to lead to a swing in votes or swing in the votes of the floating population. So what we are seeing right now is that in Udupi, at least, the voter turnout has increased in the last couple of hours. We've had a number of voters stream in and cast their votes. And I've been trying to ask voters about the fact that whether Hindutva plays a major role in this election. But my conversations are being steered to questions of corruption, questions of whether our infrastructure, our healthcare, our education is going to be bolstered by the incoming government.
Okay, Pooja, what is the status in other constituencies, in other areas, particularly in the old Mysuru region, which is a JDS stronghold? What is the situation there on ground with regards to voter turnout, as well as issues that dominate the elections in the old Mysuru region?
Before that, I just want to come to Bengaluru from where I'm currently reporting, Shabir. And, like Prajwal rightly mentioned, infrastructure is a big issue on which Bangalore usually votes. Although this ideally should come under the local municipal corporation, that is the BBMP here. The fact that there has been no election to BBMP for the last 3.5 years is also a factor, because of which most people are looking at their MLAs to provide some sort of solution for their civic woes, be it terrible roads for which Bengaluru is so infamous now, or drains, flooding every monsoon. These are issues which will play on the minds of the voter. If you're talking about issues outside of Bengaluru, you spoke about old Mysuru particularly. It is the Kaveri Basin. It is an agrarian region, and traditionally agriculture, irrigation, who can bring you water, Kaveri water, and farmer loan waivers have been, the main issues on which people in old Mysuru have voted. This time we saw an attempt, a serious aggressive attempt by BJP to push Hindutva into the region, because they've not had electoral success there so far. But, when we traveled there on the ground, we did not see it resonating with the voters so much.
Okay, joining us is also Dhanya Rajendran, the editor-in-chief of the News Minute. Dhanya, where are you, and what is happening around you? Are people there turning out at the polling booths?
I'm in the Shantinagar constituency. I don't think the vote. I mean, in the voting booth that I am, it's a small trickle of voters. In fact, when I saw the list while I was casting my vote, around 250 people. I was the 253rd person to have cast the vote, so not a huge number. But generally, in these areas, people come in the afternoon. I feel the numbers really have to go up, but as they say, if a lot of people come out to vote, it depends on which region is voting. Sometimes a lot of people coming out to vote could mean that it is an anti-incumbency vote. But today, when we were looking at the 9 a.m. voter pattern, it was Udupi district in Karnataka which had the highest. Now, that we cannot think is because of anti-incumbency. It could also be because the BJP and the RSS are stridently bringing people to the polling booths. So let's see how the voting percentages become better. But I really sincerely hope that people in Bengaluru and other urban areas of Karnataka do turn.
And Dhanya, according to you, what are the key factors that dominate this election? You have been seeing the campaign, you have been observing it, and you have been writing about it. What are the key factors, according to you, will dominate this election? Because the BJP is not talking about Hindutva politics. In fact, they are not even talking about the hijab and halal issue that they raked up a few months ago in the coastal Karnataka region. But apart from that, do you think that the BJP was on a back foot when they began this entire campaign?
See, the BJP their elections were announced, they did not talk much about Hindutva because they are in the government. Unlike in 2018, when the BJP could say that, look at the murders which have happened, look at the law and order situation. Once you are in power, you cannot be talking about those issues because you are the government. People are going to turn back and ask you, what did you do to make sure there is law and order, right? So that is one reason why they were not harping on either law and order or Hindutva. I feel they were on the back foot in the beginning, but there was a lot of confidence which seeped into the BJP campaign, especially after Prime Minister Narendra Modi started his campaign vote and his final 2-day big vote for president. In my observation, this is a waveless election. There is no wave. There is no wave against the BJP. There is no wave for the Congress. But there are a lot of voters who could see a vote for the Congress not as a reward for the Congress, but as a punishment for the BJP. A punishment for rising prices, a punishment for rising LPG petrol prices. In many elections, people actually tend to cast their vote just to say, okay, not that any of you are different, but I just don't want you back. Which is why in most of the southern states, we always see governments change, right? One government, the government. vote. They want to not give the same party come back.
Okay, Pooja, you were talking about corruption as the main poll plank or the campaign issue of the Congress Party. Just a day ago, the Contractors Association had come up with a plea, reminding people of the 40% corruption. Do you think that these issues really matter? These issues are going to, have an impact on the minds of the voters?
It has already had an impact as far as campaigning is concerned, because I'm sure you and all our viewers have heard the term 40% Sarkara repeated, over the last couple of years. This, in fact, the term was coined when the Contractors Association said that they had to give 40% commission for all government projects. Why it would resonate, if it does, with the voters is because, when a contractor has to give 40% commission of a government project to government officials, MLAs, ministers, and anybody else in the government. And there is also a chunk of money that he needs to get the project work done and also keep a certain percentage of profit. So eventually, the fact that he has to give the bribe impacts the quality of work that he does. And it can have a direct impact on the quality of infrastructure we've seen. So if there is a bad road outside your house that is not getting done for a long period of time, which is the case, in most places in Bengaluru, I can speak from experience where I lived for 4 months, they had dug up the road. And just last week, before Prime Minister Modi was to pass through these roads overnight, they ensured that the roads are in good shape. So it's not that people have not had to directly suffer because of this, corruption, especially the corruption allegation that the contractors have leveled against the government. But whether or not this will supersede other, issues, like I said, caste is a very important factor in Karnataka elections, not so much in Bengaluru perhaps or in urban areas, but in rural areas, caste is an important factor based on which people do cast their vote. Hindutva is also something that especially Prajwal can tell you about, given that he's reporting from the coastal part of the state. So if corruption will trump and emerge as the single most important factor is something we'll have to see. But just before I wrap up, Shabir, I want to urge all our viewers to go out and vote in large numbers, because if we don't do that today, we have no right to complain the rest of the year. I have gone and cast my vote, so has Prajwal, so has Danya, and all of us here at the News Minute who do have a vote in Karnataka. So please finish watching this live, get out of your houses, and make sure you vote today.
Okay, before I wrap up, a couple of questions. Prajwal, the caste factor that Pooja was talking about is something which dominates the Karnataka elections. And we have seen there are different communities that rally behind one particular political party or the other. In this election, are the Lingayats, is the Lingayat vote getting split? Or probably the Congress was also saying that this time around Lingayats may vote for them. And in fact, there were some letters that were shared with the media saying that the Lingayats organization has come forward and they have extended their support. What, according to you, is the sense that you're picking up from people whom you're talking to and from others who are there in various political parties?
Well, the BJP did gamble by leaving out Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Savadi from its list of candidates. So, if you are leaving out a former chief minister and a prominent Lingayat leader from your list of candidates, and if they were not only left out, they turned rebel and they joined the Congress and are contesting on Congress tickets now. So that's a big shift in the equations, in the caste equation. As you've seen, BJP had swept the region that they were contesting from, both of them. So the BJP, which emerged as the single largest party in 2018, well, of course, they were not able to get the full majority, but they were able to garner 104 seats. But it remains to be seen whether the changes and the gambles that they've taken are going to affect, the number of seats they win, and whether the Congress is able to capitalize on this and, capture the Lingayat vote and win this election.
Okay, before I let you go, Pooja, last question. The Prime Minister's rally, because that is something. Okay, Pooja seems to have left. The Prime Minister's rally, Prajwal,
Yeah.
according to the BJP, everything was not okay for them before the Prime Minister stepped in. And and the Prime Minister campaigned here for almost 6 days. He held several road shows and all that. What kind of impact it will have is also something that many are curious, because one, there is huge anti-incumbency as far as the BJP is concerned. People are talking about it. Just answer that question, and I'll take that question to Pooja as well.
Well, as you saw that the ABPC voter survey, one of the surveys that came before the elections, it had predicted that the Congress is going to win 105 to 115 seats. So this survey came a couple of weeks ago. Now, I believe that if you hold a survey after the Prime Minister's rallies, there will be a certain shift in the number of votes in each constituency, because the Prime Minister's rallies were attended by lakhs of people, not only in Bangalore. I know the Bangalore rally over the weekend has taken all the headlines in the state. It is being talked about across the state. But even the rallies in coastal Karnataka, even the rallies in North Karnataka were heavily attended. And it seems to be what the narrative that the BJP is trying to set, that the Prime Minister's rallies have changed the course of this election. But it remains to be seen whether that alone is enough to propel them to victory in Karnataka.
Okay, my last question to you, Pooja. I was just asking Prajwal the same question. Prime Minister's rally, he held a massive campaign in Karnataka for 6 days, attending so many rallies and holding road shows. Do you think that this has changed the course of the elections? Because all was not well for the BJP in the beginning, because they did not have a narrative, and they were on the defensive as far as this election is concerned. So do you think that the Prime Minister's rally has created some sort of an impact for the BJP? It has helped the BJP on ground?
Well, it certainly would have, because one, it did grab the attention and the fascination of people in Bengaluru for sure. And like Prajwal was talking about, in parts of coastal Karnataka and Mumbai, Karnataka as well. And like I mentioned earlier, this time around for the BJP, given the fact that Yediyurappa will not be contesting again, Prime Minister Modi is the biggest star campaigner, biggest vote catcher as well. So the fact that the last 2 days of campaigning, our social media, mainstream media was bombarded with visuals of people lining up to watch, just catch a glimpse, because he really passed by very quickly. But for that, people were willing to line up for hours and wait, and even put up with the traffic jams in many cases. So this is also an indication that he does still hold a sway on the voters in urban pockets particularly, and in pockets where Hindutva has traditionally worked in Karnataka. And by that I mean mostly coastal part of Karnataka. But that said, I can tell you that across the state, there is some sort of resonance every time he does go and talk to the voters, perhaps with the exception of old Mysuru region, where the numbers of people attending his rally has not directly transformed into people voting for the BJP. In other parts, it will definitely have had an impact. Now, whether that is enough for the BJP to cross that magic number, the halfway mark, we cannot predict. But he definitely is one of the biggest factors in elections this time around. And Shabir, once again, in Kannada, if I could appeal to all our viewers, ನೀವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸ್ತಿದ್ರು, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ವೋಟ್ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಿ, ಮತದಾನ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕು, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಎರಡೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದಾದ್ರೂ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೂತಿರ್ಬೇಡಿ. 10 ನಿಮಿಷ 15 ನಿಮಿಷ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಮತ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಿ ಬನ್ನಿ.
Right, Pooja, Prajwal, Dhanya, and Shivani, thank you so much for joining us. In fact, throughout the day, we will also come up with updates. Post 3 o'clock, we are planning that we will come up with another live with the grounds, telling you what exactly is happening on the ground, the voter turnout, and particularly the focus will be on Bengaluru, because like Pooja has been appealing time and again, people should come out and vote, because this is something which decides their future and their fate as far as a lot of issues are concerned. So this is why she has been appealing to the voters of Bengaluru to come out and vote. And we will also bring you all the ground reports, and do follow our live blog on the newsminute.com and join us and be with us for this election. Thank you so much.
Vote ಮಾಡಿ.